Let's kick off this year with an InstaFilter video where I'm going to share a method to make your food photos even more delicious. We're going to start by making 3 duplicates from the original image. Let's hide the top 2 duplicate layers in the Layers panel and start with the first duplicate layer. For the first duplicate layer, apply a diffuse glow light filter with a high radius and a low intensity. This will make the highlights stronger with a minor glow effect. On the second duplicate layer, start by adding an invert adjustment. But before moving on, make sure that the invert adjustment is a child of the duplicate. On top of the invert adjustment, add a live median blur filter. In the filter dialog, make sure that Preserve Alpha is turned on and then increase the radius until you get a nice smooth surface. Select the duplicate and change the blend mode to Vivid Light. The result will look awful, but this is exactly what we need to use this to sharpen the image. Now group the 2 duplicates and change the blend mode of the group to Overlay. We have a much crispier image now. When I toggle the group, we can see its effect more clearly. If you think this sharpen effect is way too much, which is mostly the case, we can dim it down by applying a blend range. Open up the blend options and decrease the strength of the effect from the underlying layer highlights. This way, the highlights in the image will look much more natural. A quick before and after. Nice. Now that we have some sharpening, let's add some contrast. Enable the third duplicate and add a channel mixer to convert it to black and white. Make sure the channel mixer adjustment is a child layer of the duplicate. Now add the invert adjustment and finally add a live Gaussian blur filter. Increase the radius so that we get a nice blurry image, and don't forget to turn on the Preserve Alpha checkbox. Change the blend mode of the duplicate to Overlay. This will brighten and color the image, giving it a bit of an HDR look. To add the contrast, add a brightness and contrast adjustment. Increase the shadow value to around 160% and decrease the highlights value to around -70%. Just plain awful. But see what happens when we change the blend mode to Color Burn. We get this very nice dark mood photo, which by the way is of course too much. Open up the blend options and lower the fill opacity to 60%. Close the dialog and also lower the regular opacity to 60%. Awesome, that looks delicious. Let's do a quick check with the before and the after. Remember, you can modify the opacities of the layers and the settings on the adjustments to really fine-tune the final result to your liking. I would suggest to have the effects applied in a very subtle manner, just giving that extra boost to make your meal stand out. By the way, this effect is not only for food photos, but can be applied to any photo. It is even cat-proof. I have created a macro for the applied steps. The link will be in the description. Let's apply the macro to our cat image. It looks amazing, but maybe a bit too much. As mentioned earlier, we can modify the layer opacities and the settings of the adjustments to dim the total effect. I think this looks much better now. Here is the before and here is the after. Thanks again for tuning in. Hope you liked this video and don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did. Please also consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so yet. Until the next video.